And viewer, a warm welcome to today's edition of Mchezo right here on Kanele 97.7 FM kwao kwa gogo kwenye kutukura chunga za msuzi uswesi. I'm your host Stephen Nkoma. We've brought you many guests on this particular show where we discuss issues that affect our community, and the larger picture is Zambia as a country. And of course, today we are also privileged to host the 6th Zambian Republican President, Dr. Edgar Lungu. It is the first time that we are hosting him, of course, as a radio station, having been established in 2021. Your Excellency, thank you so much for agreeing to feature on Mchezo, and of course, featuring for the first time on Kanele 97.7 FM. Timpokeleni kuno kukaa.
Yewe dada.
Manyi kukoma mwabaleka uli?
Bali makola. Bali kali namwe dada.
Ya ikuno nasetiri wakamakola. Alright, so he's our guest, and we're going to discuss quite a lot of issues in case you've been thinking those big issues you wanted the 6th head of state to address in as far as Lundazi and Zambia is concerned. It is that particular time we're going to talk more about that. Your Excellency, since you left office in 2021, how has life been?
It's been very turbulent, I must say. Initially I thought it's going to be peaceful, but it turned out to be very turbulent. And I think it's because some people did not want to leave us in peace as a family. So we've been hustled, and we've hustled back to survive. So it's common knowledge now that, of course, they came and tried to squeeze me out of ordinary life by stopping me from just enjoying my being as a Zambian person, by going out to just have a bit of fresh air. Running around in the morning. That they stopped. They clamped on it. They said it was politicking. Going to church, they stopped me. They said it's politicking. You know, visiting friends, they took it that it was politicking. So everything around my life and that of my wife and children was politicized by the people in authority, such that I felt so helpless and thought I should fight back. But then the crunch came, of course, when we saw that they even want to destroy our party, Patriotic Front, by inciting people to do all sorts of wrong things, to break the laws, and get the party and use it for themselves as a special tool for the ruling party, UPND. So we said no to that. So my life really has been hectic. Of course, you know the stories of my wife and children being in court, allegations of having been a thief, plundered the country, left, right, and center, which are unfounded up to now, and the bad press that has gone against us locally and abroad, which spews lies all the time. You know, they tell lies about me in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, like Dr. Kaunda would say, lies in the morning, lies in the afternoon, lies in the evening. So it's been tough. But all the same, here we are. We're still soldiering on, and I'm glad that we're almost getting there. We're used.
All right. In case you've just joined us, we are hosting Zambia's 6th Republican President, Dr. Edgar Lungu, on today's edition of Mchezo program. Your Excellency, have you reflected on the challenges that made you lose power in 2021? What were your successes?
Well, our successes as Patriotic Front are so many that if you want me to tabulate them, we can take the whole day. But suffice to say that PF took the country from 2011 to 2021 to higher heights in terms of all economic activities and the quality of life enjoyed by the Zambian people. And I dare say that, unfortunately, this has been lost in the last 3 years. So there's a lot I can tell you about that, but suffice to say, I've learned a lot of things, why we lost elections. And one of the things I can tell you is that we lost elections. People are saying, yes, there was too much Kadarism. Yes, Kadarism was there. But I can tell you that one of the things which helped our friends win the minds and souls of the Zambian people was propaganda and falsehoods. They told so much lies about me, about PF, about the government, such that we took it lightly and we thought we would bring development to the people, would bring prosperity to the people, and that would help us. But people did not bother to judge us on the basis of the development that we brought. They judged us on the basis of lies and a few misconduct, such as what you've heard to be an issue, that of cadarism.
Your Excellency, just allow me to take you back. Recently, you told the international media that you were under house arrest. Claims that the government has since refuted. How do you substantiate those claims?
Well, it's a comparative term, house arrest, and also it's contextual. For example, if I cannot move out of my country, Zambia, to go for medication at my own expense, and I'm pulled out of a plane to say, go back home and die, that for me constitutes house arrest. Mm-hmm. If I'm supposed to travel for a workshop or a symposium in South Korea, somebody comes, put me out of the plane and says, you can't travel, that is house arrest. Regulating where I should go, where I should be, who I should be with, that is house arrest. But we can debate this endlessly. But I can tell you that since we spoke out, there has been a bit of easing on the part of the state in terms of allowing me to move about. But that is not satisfactory, because when I was in Santa, for example, they were trailing us like he wanted bandits, you know, where we went to the lodge, they were all over, and after the meeting, they sort of were chasing us in the name of escorting us. Of course, we outwitted them, we got to Mansawombwe. But at the end of the day, I'm not as free as you are, for example. You came all the way from Lusaka to Lundazi, I came all the way from Malawi. I would do pass. But for me, they want, where is Edgar Lungu? Just the other day, they were in Mpulungu, ransacking lodges left, right, and center, turning them down.
Are they looking for you to provide the security?
No, what security? What security? Because they've grabbed all the policemen they gave us. They grabbed all the policemen they gave us, that I am not entitled to politics, to police protection, because I'm in politics. So why trouble me by sending policemen to follow me? The incident in Kabwe where they said, we have been told that you can't be here. That's to speak of freedom of movement. I was visiting a bishop. This policeman just comes and says, you can't be here. Why? No, we are told that you can't be here. So is that the freedom that you want me to say I'm free? So I can tell you that I'm a virtual prisoner, and I don't like it. And wherever I go, I'm followed. Followed like a wanted, a dangerous criminal. And that's not fair. All right. We can debate endlessly, because I saw some government minister saying, no, he's free, he's free. He goes, I can't go to town today and be left alone. They will come. And they will say, no, you can't be here. That I can assure you. But I should subscribe to the perception that I'm free, I'm not under house arrest. House arrest is a legal term, or it can be a political term. I want to be as free as these guys are to go to the market, to go to the cinema theater, to go to the shopping mall, to go to church without let or hindrance. That's what I want. That's the freedom I want, and that's what the freedom I want for everybody.
Do you think they regard your movements as a way of campaigning ahead of the 2026 election?
But what's wrong with campaigning if I'm campaigning? Am I not free to campaign? Is there any law which stops me from campaigning, if at all? I'm not campaigning, but I'm moving around doing my business. But if they perceive it as campaign, it's not wrong.
Your comeback to active politics, Your Excellency, has sparked mixed reactions. In as much as there are those who are backing your comeback or this particular stance, there are still those who hold a thought of saying you should have retired. How would you react to these concerns by the people?
You know, the Morocco, is it the Cameroon? Cameroon had a football team. They had a player called Roger Miller. He was their star player. I think he retired for a while, and they found their fortunes depleting or going down. They recalled him from retirement, and I remember 1994, He featured in the World Cup in Europe and in America. And he did very well, and he was a super sub. So politics, I don't think is something you can retire from, if I am to be honest with you. You can only reduce your participation in politics as you get older, right? Eventually you want to skip away completely. I don't know whether people like Honorable Venon Manga have retired. From time to time he makes statements on politics. Can you call that retirement? I don't think it's retirement. But I've come back to active politics and I will participate because the freedom of myself as an individual, that of my members of the party, that of my family members has been compromised by those who wield powers of the state. Take, for example, what they did to PF. They massacred PF. They dismembered PF. They brought in strange characters and said, this is the president of PF. No mandate whatsoever from the people in the party, right? President. And they go in the night, they change fingerprints. The following morning, they go and they register. That is a criminal act on the part of the state. So with all that, you want me to be in retirement? No, I can't. Because PF is what brought me here. And I think I will not die a peaceful death if I was to die today without restoring PF to what it is. By the way, I've been saying to people who want me to reconcile with the president that, look, the only way we can start talking about reconciliation is for the man to begin restoring democracy. And how he restores democracy to me is by restoring the legitimate leadership into PF where we were on 23rd October 2023, where we had elected leaders like myself as president and others, including our SGs and everybody. Once he restores that, he tells his people in the civil service to say, guys, can you correct this? They register record to show the true reflection of the leadership of the party. Then we're on our way to go. They've done that with other political parties as a system, and I can't allow that. So we are going to fight. So talk of retirement, you retire when you are comfortable, that things are okay. But when you're an old man and you see things are being messed up, and you sit and the children, no, you put on your warrior garb and you take your spear and your segai and your chamtunga and you go and fight with them. That's what they do. So that's what I've done. So I've come back because democracy has been disseminated. Democracy has been killed. You know the political parties, they just pick and choose and go and destroy. So I should sit there that you did my part. I'm not yet finished.
Of course, the Patriotic Front party has seen several factions, like you have alluded to.
It's the same faction.
Of course.
It's like an amoeba. It just replicates itself.
Is there a better way of resolving these matters other than the suggestion that you have made of taking back the legitimate leadership?
What's the better way than restoring what is right to the people of the party, the people who are the electoral college, to choose their leader at the next election when it is due? You can't just come into a house, remove the husband of the family or the father of the family and replace them with somebody else and say, this is your father, guys, because I'm in charge, or else I'll beat all of you. You don't do that. So there's no better way than going to the courts. But the courts seem to have been compromised. As we can see, they take too long and they're not moving in the right direction or the right pace. So we suspect that there is some collusion between the executive and the legislature in dealing with party politics, especially when they go to court.
Some sections are suggesting that probably these wrangles in PF may go beyond 2026 so that you are destabilized as a party and then you don't also take part in the general election that will be held that year. Is it possible that these matters could be resolved on time and see the PF back to where it belongs?
I can tell you that with what I know, there's no desire on the part of those who are manipulating troublemakers in PF to bring about peace, orderliness, and harmony in the party. It serves them better that way. A dead, weak, or sick PF suits them well. So chances of resolving these matters by 2026 are slim, but we haven't ruled them out. They are slim, and we are pursuing those chances. But you're asking me about Plan B. I can't tell you Plan B. Well, that's a tactic now. That's a strategy, you know. So, speaking for PF, we want to salvage PF back into the formidable political party that it once was, held together under one leadership, and indeed contributing to democracy in this country. And I would like to believe you that the meeting we had yesterday talked about this issue at length. It was a long one, and we all agreed that we need PF. Zambia's political landscape needs PF, and we are going to fight till we get it. But if they sketch that they will not allow PF or Edgar Lungu to be candidates in the 2026 elections, obviously there is Plan B. But Plan B is not for public consumption.
All right. In case you've just tuned in, this is the live broadcast of Mchezo program all the way from plot number 3188 here in Chimchulu compound of Lundazi district. I'm your host, Stephen Nkoma, and we have the bragging rights. We are hosting the 6th Republican President of Zambia, Dr. Edgar Lungu, being the first media house in Zambia to do that after he lost elections in 2021. Other than that, he has appeared on international media outlets, and indeed we are the first to do just that. Your Excellency, you did underscore quite a lot that you achieved in your leadership, and just some comparison. Fuel prices under your reign were as low as 13 kwacha per litre, and as far as petrol is concerned, now we are talking 33 kwacha per litre. If we also get to our staple food, meal costs 400 kwacha for a 25 kilogram bag. What's your take on these comparisons?
Doesn't that give me and PF bragging rights? When we compare that, just compare the price of meal, the price of fuel. Doesn't that give me, as a party leader of PF at the time when power, and my political party PF when we're in government, bragging rights to say we were much better than these guys? Especially that these guys were saying, look, when you vote us in the morning, by tomorrow, the price of fuel will be 12 kwacha. When you vote us in, the price of meal will be 50 kwacha. 3 years down the line, something else. So when we brag, we don't do it from without. We have a very good foundation to show that, yes, we did it. And we were much better. I still stand head and shoulder taller than the current president in terms of achievements.
All right. The 2016 happenings, we did see you assent to the new amended constitution, and later on we also saw you trying to introduce Bill 10, which we did see the opposition UPND then go to the streets celebrating that the Bill 10 was shot down. With that particular
why were they celebrating, if I may be allowed to ask you a question, why were they celebrating? The UPND guys were celebrating that they've shot Bill 10 down. Why were they celebrating? Just permit me one question, just that one. Why were UPND celebrating that they have slaughtered Bill 10?
Maybe our viewers and listeners will help me answer that particular question.
Because it was a bad law. Right? That's what they were saying. Okay. So they were celebrating because it was a bad law. And they said, leave the Constitution as it is because the Constitution is intact, it's good enough as it is, right? You remember that their leader then, who is now the President of the Republic, appeared on a series of television stations defending the Constitution of 2016, saying the document need not be changed because Lungu and his team want to manipulate it so that probably they can stay in power longer and acquire more power and so on. He said it. And we were defeated. And when we were defeated, obviously time came, they got power. And now, lo and behold, we hear that they want to amend the same document, which was very good. And I'm glad to that scholar, become politician, what's the name of John Sangwa. He put it on record. This is the best constitution we've had so far in a long while. And I've got no reason to doubt him. And they say it's a good constitution. So tell me, why suddenly they want to say what is the big word, lacunas in the constitution? Or is it lacune? You know, we were surprised. What's good for the goose must be good for the gander. What was good for us must be good for them. what was bad for us must be bad for them. That's why we keep saying in our quest to provide checks and balances, these guys should not take us back to do things which were condemning us, which they were frowning upon, which they were organizing local and international community to support them for, and use them again to suppress us. No, we won't allow that. And these people who come back with the excuses like saying, look, Lungu did that, why can't we do it? I did it and I paid the price, and Zambians were saying it was bad, so why should we allow him to do it? Bad. And I will not be swayed or put down because no, but PF therefore now if it is Menya. It's wrong. That's why PF lost. So if PF lost because they were beating people, should we allow UPND to beat people because they will say Lungu Muzomenya Bantunaim?
Your Excellency, how would you assess President Hichilema's performance so far in office? 3 years ticking?
Me, to assess him. Why can't you ask the Zambians to assess him? The Zambians are the ones who are carrying the burden of their living. The Zambians are the ones who know the price of mealie meal. The Zambians are the ones who know the price of cooking oil. The Zambians are the ones who know transport costs. So you do a survey. You do a survey, go around the country, talk to the ordinary citizens, listen to the radios, talk shows in the morning and the afternoon. They will tell you who is better, who did better, and so on. And why do you think they're worried about the cry of what they've waited up? It's because they know that for sure they've waited up.
Okay. Your opponents, Your Excellency, do allege that you never invested in the energy sector, which has now led to the blackouts that we're experiencing. Of course, we did see load shedding in your reign as well, which you also alleged to some drought. How did you handle drought then for Zambia and Lundazi in particular not to face the blackouts that we're facing now? Because some places are going for days without electricity. Some of them are now claiming having electricity in their homes or workplaces is but a rumor.
You see, when we came in, electricity production was at 1,600 megawatts in Zambia. But by the time we were leaving, it was 3,800 or so megawatts. And we were able to export. And we had done a lot of work in terms of new production areas. Gojloa, for example, which the man was saying was not operational. It was operational at the time we were transferring power. There was only one turbine which was yet to be commissioned. And I can tell you that people in Mansa will tell you we have upgraded the Chimba Falls from 10, I think, to 15 megawatts or something. So if there's a success story we can talk about, it is in the energy sector. We have solar energy in Bangweulu. Bangweulu is in Lusaka, by the way. Bangweulu is not in Bangweulu. There's a company called Bangweulu which produces solar energy in Lusaka, in the south of Lusaka, near the M-Phase. And this goes on the ZESCO grid. So about 600 or so megawatts. So I can tell you for a fact that we were more diversified, that we were more objective in our quest to make sure that there is a good mix of electricity in Zambia, and people were able to access electricity and reasonably priced. And I think our energy policy speaks for itself, because we wouldn't have been exporting electricity now, as it is now. I know that they're exporting 250 megawatts, and they're saying we have to export because of diplomacy. You can't do that. At a time like this, you have to keep everything in your country and make sure that you even import some energy so that people are able to go about with their lives. Production in manufacturing, in agriculture, and everywhere is going on and so on.